We played a show with a band called Gag from Portland. I think they're from Portland.
Makes sense, yeah.
One of the coolest bands in the world, in my opinion. It was them, Fell in Class, and then Portrayal of Guilt was on the bill too. And it was at Edgman Printing. And those are the guys who put on Tied Down. It's Curtis and Jimmy. All love to them. They're the coolest dudes in the world. We were just dumb, did our usual Sissy Boys thing, and they said, keep the first week of June open. And we were like, oh, we're going to get another Edgman show. Cool. And then I was working at UPS at the time, and I was up at like 3 a.m. getting ready for work. And Curtis texted me and was like, hey, by the way, we want you guys on the second day of Tied Down. Just make sure you're there. And we were like, okay, cool. Sounds good. We'll be there.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and I'm here with a man that has a calendar, and he marks down the countdown to extinction.
What's up, Jay? It's Modd. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. Fucking snowy December.
Yeah, extinction.
1st.
Extinction should be upon us soon.
Sooner than later, yeah.
Yeah, it's 11th hour here.
Well,
Humankind.
Today we welcome some very special guests. These guys, up-and-coming hardcore superpowers, I would like to say. These guys been steamrolling the scene for a while, going all over the place. I love to see this energy and passion for music, especially with young dudes, because it reminds me of ourselves when we were getting going in our music journey. And it's not usually very often that we get to see a band 2 days before they're on the show if we've never seen them before. Right. So welcome the Sissy Boys to the show.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you guys.
Yeah,
welcome.
Thanks for coming over.
Real stoked to be here.
Appreciate
super
it.
Sick.
Just to let you guys know, in passing, like, I go way back with the dudes from Dives. They're like some of my best friends. You know, I played shows with them guys forever. Luke, I don't know if you guys know Luke.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sloan, she loves your band. You know, his daughter.
She's the
or
best.
whatever. Yeah. So, in passing, Dane had mentioned you guys' name. Said you played some venue out in Grand Rapids that was like a kind of a newer underground type, warehouse type venue.
Oh, it was probably 4-star.
Oh, yeah.
Luke Dean put that on for us.
Mm-hmm.
So he had mentioned you guys in passing, and it just kind of, you know, sometimes people mention bands you don't really hear it. Well, so I'm listening to the Hard Lore podcast, right? And they talked about Tied Down Fest. And they were naming the bands, you know, they were like going through each band. And they said, yeah, then we had this band from Muskegon, Michigan come out called the Sissy Boys. And they were talking you guys up like, you guys put on a hell of a show. I mean, I watched the video, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But they were like, the Sissy Boys came out and they kicked ass. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I had heard your name in passing. But then hearing your name on like this bigger hardcore podcast, I was like, that's pretty fucking sweet. And then you guys' name came up more and more. Then Dive started talking about it, and then you guys have been playing at Rake and shit, so Luke's been seeing you and stuff, and he's kind of been in communication. So you guys just kind of came on my radar, but lo and behold, you guys are out there hustling and kicking ass. So we'll get into all that, but I just thought it was kind of cool, because I was like, Muskegon? Like, they said Muskegon, Michigan on this podcast?
Yeah. That's always a fun drop. It's always fun to say we're from Muskegon.
Yeah. They're like, where's that at? What is that? You know?
We get to say we're right on the lake.
Right under my nose.
So just to get started, if you want to get acclimated with the voices for people that are listening, you want to just say your name and what you do in the band?
Jake, and I play guitar. I'm the original one.
Yeah, he's the original. I'm Cam. I play second guitar. Just joined like a couple months ago.
Okay.
It's been super sick.
Fun.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you were at Tied Down Fest, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you were screaming in the mic, because I was like, that looks like the other guitar player, you know, obviously before I knew your name, but I seen you, like, doing the singing in the mic, like, you know, and your singer name is Dom?
Dom, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when he's, like, putting the mic out there or whatever, like,
yeah, it was
I
so
seen
cool.
you on that video, and I was like, oh, yeah, they're recruiting him out of the audience or something.
Yeah, man.
Cam's been our buddy for a while, like a long time. And it was like when we came down to it after Tied Down, we were looking like we wanted a guitar player. And Cam was just the best fit because he's way overqualified for the job.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that, but dude, thank you.
So you want to just go all the way from the beginning? There was a little blurb here and I would just like to, it says, so from the No Echo
Mhm.
It's just a website or like a blog or
Yeah.
something, like a hardcore blog, right?
Yeah.
So it said that, in quotes, released our first EP a couple weeks ago, and it's something we've been sitting on for a long time. It was recording and mixed by our vocalist Dom, and we sent it out to get it mastered by Jesse Cannon, and we couldn't be happier with it, with the way it turned out. Actually, that's not what I wanted to read. I'm sorry. So, no, in 8th grade, Dom and I wanted to make a Pixies-type band, but ended up deciding it's way cooler to rip off Negative Approach, so we recruited Bill and Mick and started writing some of the worst music ever, but I think now we got the hang of it.
Yeah. That's about right. Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. Cool. But you just want to take me back to 8th grade then and just kind of tell me how it worked out?
So Dom and I met. Because I think he was wearing an Odd Future shirt or something like that.
Okay.
And Mick and I were big into that stuff. So we were all into like the skating culture and stuff, all that cool stuff. And then we went up to Dom, bullied him relentlessly for like a few weeks, realized he was cool.
Was he as big then?
Yeah.
He's kind of a big guy to bully.
No, he is definitely like twice our size and like way stronger than us. Could have kicked our asses, but didn't.
2 or 3 people can
Yeah.
bully him.
And then, yeah, we started hanging out at his house, and then we were like real down with indie rock, real into indie rock. And then one day he was like, "Hey, have you guys ever heard of?" I think it was Black Flag was the first band he put us on to.
Okay.
And we were like, "No, this is awesome." And, well, it all goes back to his brother, Aiden. Aiden's the biggest influence on the band probably because he was the first one to go up to Dom and say, "Why are you listening to rap music? You should listen to hardcore while you're skateboarding."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's
Oh,
way
okay.
cooler."
Yeah. That makes sense.
But he also put us onto a lot of cool, like, I think, trying to think, Paper Planes by MIA. We always bumped that. Beamer Boy by Lil
Dude.
Peep. We always bumped that. That's
Yep.
all him, though.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, from there was one day where Dom came up to me and he was like, "We should just do punk rock music." And I was like, "Okay, cool. That's probably easier to make." And then I was like, "My friend Mick plays bass," or he knew Mick. So then he was like, "My friend Bill plays drums," and Bill came over and he's been good at the drums since he was like a little kid. So that was pretty cool. It was like the worst songs you would ever hear until probably 2 years ago when we actually started playing shows. And then from there, we got to where we are now.
yeah.
Okay. So when you say 8th grade, how long ago was that, though? Like,
We graduated class of 23. So that would probably been like what, 2018? I think we started
2019,
freshman year. 'Cause
okay.
that was COVID lockdown was 2020. So yeah, 2018, 2019 would have been
Okay.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, what were you listening to then? Just like hip hop and SoundCloud rap and shit like that before
Yeah.
you got into hardcore? Because that was kind of synonymous with the skate scene, right? Like that SoundCloud
Most
shit.
definitely.
'Cause you
Yeah.
said Little Peep,
But also
right?
like like
yeah.
a lot of metal too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was big into like thrash metal when I was younger. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that stuff was awesome.
Hell
And
yeah.
like death metal.
Okay.
But I can't speak for Cam. I know Cam was on a whole different wave, but it's still similar.
Yeah. No, it was like we were in different places, but we were on the same shit. Like,
I guess I should say Cam's from Grand Rapids too.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like I've been hanging out with them since like the springtime, but like ever since then it's just been like every weekend, every other weekend I'm over here, just because it's like once again like we were into the same shit at the same time, just in like totally different spaces. It was really cool.
So how did you meet these guys then? How do you get involved just with the crew or whatever? I guess.
Well, it's like I first met them. I'd played a show with my old band Nymph, with Jake's old band Dogpile. It was like their first show, and it was like I remember hearing them like sound check, and I was just loading in on my gear, and I was like, holy fuck! Like it was really cool. It was like you and Mick were in the band, along with like 2 members of my other band Concuss. And I just thought they were really cool, but I don't know. I think like we like thought we were like beefing with each other, but in a way, I don't know. We were like kind of confused because I thought they were like really cool, but I don't know. It was just like mixed signals and whatnot. So we just saw each other at a bunch of shows, and just started hanging out from there. Realized they were like really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So now you're up here a lot, or
Yeah.
drive up from Grand Rapids? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I still drive up from Grand Rapids, and it's like it's easy because everyone's over in Muskegon. But it's like, yeah, like I said, I'm over here almost every other weekend just to hang.
Hell yeah, that's cool. So, you guys have put out the "We Want to Fight" and that was on Delayed Gratification Records.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that come about? Just with your demo, because it's kind of your first time getting music down in the Sissy Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. This was like the first proper release of something that we've actually like been proud of to put out.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we played Tied Down, and before that, we went on a 4-day run with a band called Field Note. And this is when we were still a 4-piece, but when we were in Ohio, I saw Vlad, and I was the owner of, or like the guy who runs DGR, and I was like, hey, I really like your label. You should check my band out. And then he was like, okay, cool. And then he goes downstairs, and we played a really fun set. And I'm guessing that's where we grabbed his attention a little bit.
Gotcha.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then from there, we played Tied Down the following weekend, went up and talked to him. And then after Tied Down, he was like, hey, I know you guys already put your EP out, but if you guys want to do a tape run with us, that'd be really cool. So we've been like longtime DGR fans too. Like all those bands, we love freaky hardcore, really zany shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a good fit for us to be there.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Well, I really like the record that We Want to Fight.
Thank
you
you.
want to call it a record, I guess it's like 5 songs. But staying true to when you talk about, I see you guys had kind of mentioned Gorilla Biscuits or Negative Approach. Like staying true to that style of music, is that kind of the path that you want to do? Just that true like punk hardcore type stuff, or do you see the band evolving in sound? Or
It really just kind of depends on what we're listening to in the moment. Because lately we've been listening to like Brace War and Rival Mob, and like I feel like that has influenced the way that we're writing a lot. To be like, okay, here's a fast part, here's a slow part.
Okay.
But I still want to stay true to that like old school ethos of just like fast, short, and to the point.
Okay.
Not drawn out.
Yeah. Because Negative Approach, they're more of a punk, like almost like a. You could call them hardcore, obviously, but like they're like hardcore rock and roll. Like there's a sheen to it still. Like it's not really dirty, but like when you get into the Gorilla Biscuits, like you start listening to their drummer and stuff, like you start hearing these thrash beats and like that, like there's more of an angst to it. You know what I mean? So you know, hardcore's kind of all over the way. And I'll just say that Nick and I could speak for myself, but we're not like punk or hardcore aficionados. We're the extreme metal, death metal guys, because that's what our podcast is about extreme metal, right? Like that's the thing we lean towards. But we like to highlight as many cool bands as possible. So, like, there's always room for any kind of band on this show. We've had THV on this show, which is like a 2-piece, crazy technical band. Like, you know, so, like, we're just trying to put on this for the scene in general. So, like,
dude, we really appreciate it.
Well, they're hard and heavy, and plus it's organic rock. Right. So I'm like, we're for that life all the time. Like, anytime kids, anybody really picking up instruments and playing something with a distortion pedal, like, there's space for them on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't have to be the most extreme, outrageous thing ever, but like, you know, you guys got the crowds whipped up into a frenzy, so I'm like, I'm with it. Like, I had fun. I was bobbing my head the whole time.
Heck yeah.
Do I put it on at home? Not necessarily, but like when I'm out at the show, I just love seeing everybody on stage doing their thing, and it was like, these guys are coming on the show. Sweet, let's get it.
Well,
I had fun.
Thank you.
I had fun.
The reason why I asked that is because, you know, a lot of times when Nick and I talk about hardcore on the show, we have this new kind of hardcore, right? Where it's like all the breakdowns, you're talking like Harm's Way, obviously Hate Breed. Like, would you guys consider that more like metalcore, right? With the breakdowns and stuff? But like, where does that line draw? Because we've been trying to find this answer for a while. Like, or is it just like a mix up in subgenre? Like, what is you guys' take on that? That's what I would like to know.
I guess once they start like trem picking too much and doing crazy guitar movements, that's when I'll call it metalcore.
Okay.
Harm's Way, I think it's dope. I was actually just watching a video about them that they started as like a power violence band. They were playing shows with Weekend Nachos. I think that's real tight.
Yeah, I know they're Bo's really into those guys.
Yeah. That stuff's real cool. I don't know. I guess as long as you can mosh to it, that's all I really care about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been huge into like I guess I talk a lot about genres because I think it's fun to pick and choose everything. But also like as long as you can mosh to it or get down with it, I'm really all for it.
Like I feel like you can call anything that you want it. Like you can put a label on metalcore that has anything with a breakdown, really. So it's like what Jake is saying, you can really put it into each different category. You can make it as complicated as you want, or you just stick it with like the big fat label.
Yeah.
It just makes everything easy.
It's kind of funny to hear him describe it that way, because when I think of metalcore, I don't think of breakdowns. I think of choruses. Because I'm coming from an entirely different world of metal and screaming and riffing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the breakdowns kind of always, they were in the song. Like, you go back to 87 with Anthrax. They go to the war dance with Indians. It's like, that's the breakdown. So, like, breakdowns were in thrash metal. They were getting that from hardcore. But now, like, from the other end of things, I'm like, oh, metalcore is when they have a chorus. Like, that's what it is to me.
Yeah, like
they
kill
sing.
switch,
yeah.
the big chorus, like the older
so
all
it
that
does
remains.
today.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm
Real
like,
cool.
that's when everybody sings into the mic or whatever.
Right.
They're getting that from metalcore, but it's just kind of funny to hear that described another way.
Well, what's weird though is because like when Luke and Jeremy were on the show, so Jeremy from Snake Out was on the show with Luke, and we kind of had a discussion all around hardcore because we asked those guys to like educate us on hardcore because we've done full episodes on death metal, black metal, like all the stuff we know about. So we'll talk about the whole subgenre.
Yeah.
But we feel like we don't have no room to talk in the hardcore space because we don't really. That's kind of not
Minimal.
our. Yeah, that's our. Not our common ground, I should say,
For sure.
Playing in the band that I play in, Iron Sharpens Iron, like Larry's really into hardcore, so I get a lot of my influence or, hardcore dealings from whatever he kind of shows me or whatever, but it's just weird because somehow hardcore now is like this breakdown thing. So I guess coming back around, the reason why I asked if you would evolve in your sound, because listening to your tape again, you go back and listen to some other punk rock, and it's kind of just like upbeat or hardcore, right?
Yeah.
It could be just upbeat most of the time. You kind of got the gallopy with the toms because everybody's two-stepping and spin kicking and shit.
Yeah.
And that shit's fucking awesome, Like, I love that shit. Like, that was a major draw for you guys when I got to see your band. I was like, hell yeah, this is the fucking energy right here, because we always say that on the show. Hardcore is about an energy, right? Metal's kind of more about this precise, razor sharp, making it perfect on stage. And it can be boring as fuck too, because you got some shredders, right? But they're just staring at their guitar because they can't do anything else but fucking shred, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that was the reason why I asked, because I noticed that when I go back and listen to the tape again after seeing you guys, which I did this morning, you guys do have a few kind of like slower parts, but you guys don't ever just kick in with that fucking that traditional breakdown. So that's kind of where I was just wondering, where does that line stop for you guys? Do you guys just like, we're not going that far into the catalog of music as far as adding that to our repertoire, or what is? I guess that's my question. Like, if that makes sense.
We've called it breakdowns. Like we have that You Chose Your Enemy. It's a slow part, but we'll just call it a stomp part because that's really what it is. You can hard mosh to it. You can side to side to it. You can do whatever you want to it. It's not that 2/4 China and snare part. It's a part where everyone's still moving. Everyone can still jump around. It's got a groove to it.
Yeah, for sure. But I noticed that with your drummer, like he'll almost be playing a breakdown, but instead of like the China or the cymbal, it'd be just more kind of on the hat, right? You know what I mean? So it's still kind of like a groove or whatever. But I just wonder if that was a subconscious thing where you guys are like, we're not.
No, we've never said like, oh, we'll never put it, because like we have a new song we're sitting on right now that's a real slow stomp part. It's not like a 2 and 4, but it's just a really long drawn out part, kind of like almost like a mosh to nothing.
Okay.
Like at the end of our set when we do the Sissy Boys Slam, we're just playing, and that's just a slow groove for people to just have fun to.
Just move around. Yeah, I noticed that at the end of your set, you guys were just kind of, your bass player was kicking everybody. Fun. It was just curious because I was like, man, like a band like yours, if you guys decided just to put one of those in there, like on the every fourth song or something, that would be the heaviest fucking breakdown, because it's just like kind of like, it's still groovy and like, fast, and you can mosh the whole time, but just throwing one of those in there, because I've noticed you guys' guitar tone is a metal guitar tone.
Oh yeah.
Like, would I be wrong for saying that, or
no? All the way. It's
okay.
It's straight. What do you play? 5150, and I play 6505.
Yeah.
That is the metal amp.
Yeah.
And it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It does.
I guess we pull a lot from certain metal aspects. Like, you listen to a lot of like metalcore and stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of metalcore. I'm like exploring black metal, trying to get into that.
Slippery slope there, buddy.
Yeah, I was listening to Emperor on the way here. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
Emperor's good.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick through a lot of bullshit to find some good stuff.
I know, that's why it's taken me so long to get into it. I'm like, do I really want to?
Some of that, and we've talked about it on the show before, but some of that really old school, true black metal, they were into punk. They didn't like metal. They thought metal was like, they just looked down on it for reasons, like they just didn't care for either the tones or the culture of it, but they were into that crusty punk.
Yeah.
And so you'll hear a crossover in some of that old black metal where it almost leans toward punk. They're just trim picking the chords, but None of that shit's for me. That like I like black metal more like the Emperor, but with the orchestration, the symphony, and all manner of metal riffage. But some of that dirty old recorded off the
it's the DIY aspect.
Yeah.
I think that's why like what you're saying, they draw so much more from punk than metal is because a lot of that shit's like you do it yourself.
Yes.
It's attitude too, because there is a punk rock like "fuck you" attitude in the hardcore punk rock, and that's kind of what black metal was to death metal. Yeah, and they're like, because they were calling like death metal commercial and shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just because it's like recorded okay, like, and
put out on a real label.
Not
exactly. Yeah, it's commercial. I don't know when the fucking death metal became commercial, but
we've always said we hate like the "fuck you" punk rock attitude, but then I feel like we also play way too hard into it because all our songs are so tongue in cheek. Yeah, like we want to fight. Like, do we really want to fight? No, it's more just like Dom's always said, like it's a tough guy anthem of like dudes at shows getting shoved back and forth, saying, "Do you really want to fight, bro? You want to fight? We want to fight."
Yeah. So it's kind of a play on what you see out at shows.
Everything
attitudes and shit.
Everything's been so like just dumb with this band, but that's why it's awesome and we love it.
It makes it so fun, dude.
We've never taken it like serious at all. Of like we've never tried to be like cool guys. We've never tried to be like big deals. Just kind of like hanging out, having fun.
Right.
So I guess let me talk a little bit more about this, and that strikes another question. But can we just talk a little bit more? We want to fight. So Dom recorded it.
Yeah.
So he has some like recording equipment at his place or something?
He's been recording all of our stuff since we were kids. He has like, what is it? The big 16 rack Focusrite with all the inputs and a bunch of drum mics
now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got 32 inputs. He's recording all the drums. And then we did DI for all the guitars, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah.
On his Boss Katana.
Right.
And then I'm trying to think of what else he has. I don't know all his specs, but I just know he's real into it. And he mixed it and then we sent it out to get mastered.
Okay.
And I was happy with how it turned out. He records a ton of stuff though. He's got like a billion projects that all sound great.
Okay. I thought for a DIY thing it sounded good, not knowing anything that he's recorded or done. Then on top of that, it's like we go back to what I was just saying about the precision thing. Sometimes with the kind of music that you guys play, like it doesn't have to be particular precise, like razor sharp, right? Like it just has to have that attitude. And it's like I felt like the record was clean. I could hear everything really well. It sounded good, like even the bass there's like a part in one of your songs towards the end of the tape where the bass kind of breaks down by itself for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And then you guys come in with the riff after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the bass even sounded good and, crunchy. You could tell when it filled out that low end. So I thought you did a good job for it, man. And I'm always taking everything into consideration with how young you guys are too.
Oh, thanks.
Just getting started. It's like, just imagine where you guys are going to be in 5 years if you just keep it up and keep going. Like how good your recordings are going to be, how good your shows are going to be.
Thank you.
Like,
man.
Nick and I have known that for a long time. So our roads took a different path. But when we see young guys like you, like none of you guys got kids, right?
No.
Okay, keep it that way. Not to have anything against kids, but like keep it that way until you're ready to do that. But
I hear you.
If you guys are serious about this band, we're always kind of like, man, now's the time. Now's the time to get in the van, boys. Right?
Exactly.
Now's the time to get on the road. Do whatever you got to do. Make the most of the moment now. Because when you're as young as you guys are, you guys can sleep in the van and shit. But you start getting a little miles on us like us, as soon as you get a house and a bed, you're not going to want to fucking sleep in that van. Like as soon as you get that little comfort, so it's like time for you guys to kind of like launch and propel now, so
most definitely.
That's what we always preach to younger guys on the band or on the show, excuse me. So
yeah, especially like I know, Bill, our drummer, graduated 2 weeks before we did that Tied Down set. Like that was the whole joke with the cap and gown. And like,
nice.
So we've just been like throwing it while we can, especially now, like getting older, starting to try and get into like getting a real career going. It's like we want to just make the most out of it while we have it. And like we're always going to have something to do with like heavy music and hard music. It's just now is really a really good opportunity, like you said, for us to just hit the road as hard as we can and just keep going.
Yeah. Just graduating high school within the last couple of years and like just getting out into the world. I don't think anybody just graduating high school really needs to jump into college or a career. Take a couple of gap years, really live your life, because once you settle down into like a school curriculum, Well, that's just like 4 years or more. And then you're going to pretty much roll out of that into a career right away. And then you're going to be working the 9-to-5 grind or whatever. And it's going to be really hard to make time for other things. You'll probably settle down into a family, potentially, maybe, like it's what people do ultimately. But you get out of high school, man, go live your life, honestly. That's my opinion. Like maybe a little community college just to stay sharp, but nothing that's going to tie you down, nothing like that's going to overwhelm you.
Right.
Yeah, but I'd say for sure hit it hard. Take 3 to 5 years, see what's what, see if something else happens to you besides school or a career in a shop or an office, what have you.
Yeah, you don't have to have it all figured out by the time you're 23 or 24.
No.
Some people think that, and it's like, no, man, take your time. You'll come across something that you're passionate about, maybe besides music, but while you're young like that, before you get into a career, or, in my case, I had a kid young, so I kind of had to, like, step right out of the music role and right into, like, becoming a career person, so then I have to find the other avenues. But, yeah, man, I just love to see young guys like you fucking out there.
Thank you.
Hustling, getting it. And like I said, when I heard that you guys played Tied Down, I was just like, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, I just love to see the success of as many bands as possible, especially some young kids that are from, like, our town,
Yeah.
So, real quick, just on the We Want to Fight, man, good catchy tunes, though. Like, we say that on this show, like, we got to have some hooks, we got to have some choruses, like, because we listen to a lot of this technical death metal, and it does get, like, soupy, and it's just, like, riff after riff, and sometimes you're like, where the fuck are we even going here? Like, it's cool you guys can play till this sun comes up,
straightforward.
right? Yeah, but it's
no
like,
going back.
Yeah, but it's like 4 songs in, your brain's melted, you're like, I don't even know what I'm listening to, where it's like, when you guys are, looking down the barrel, like singing that multiple times, I'm like, fuck, I wish we did that more in metal even, because that's something I can sing along with you guys. And I know that's kind of the whole attitude when you play live. You want people to sing, but like just having more of that in metal would be awesome, because I just love how catchy you guys' songs are, especially like the We Want to Fight chant, like that whole... The whole thing was like stuck in my head, and I was like, "Yeah, these guys know what's up." Like,
that's all Dom. Yeah, Dom. I wish he could have been here. I think he's working right now. But
slinging Christmas trees.
Yeah, he's slinging Christmas trees.
Now's the time.
Good season.
But
got to start somewhere, baby.
He's a creative genius when it comes to that like crazy stuff. Like, we have a new one now, and it's like Pay Your Disrespects.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
he dropped that. So he was living in Montana for 6 months after we got out of high school, and he texted our group chat because we hadn't played any shows, we hadn't even practiced. We'd just been like kind of just taking a little break from everything, and he texted our group chat, and he's like, "New song idea, Pay Your Disrespects," and it would just be like that every now and again. Like, here's a funny joke, let's do it when we get back.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I mean the record, we'll call it a record, EP, whatever, came out on, it says it was released July 9th, 2024. Does that sound about right?
I think
that's what the Bandcamp said. So at least it was on the Delayed Gratification.
That was when DGR put it out. Yeah, I think we put it out in May sometime, like May 18th. I don't know, something.
It was a couple weeks before Tied Down.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you guys get to Tied Down? Like, how did that come about?
We played a show with a band called Gag from Portland. I think they're from Portland.
Makes sense,
one of the coolest bands in the world, in my opinion. It was them, Fell in Class, and then Portrayal of Guilt was on the bill too. And it was at Edgman Printing. And those are the guys who put on Tied Down. It's Curtis and Jimmy. All love to them. They're the coolest dudes in the world. We were just dumb, did our usual Sissy Boys thing, and they said, keep the first week of June open. And we were like, oh, we're going to get another Edgman show, cool. And then I was working at UPS at the time, and I was up at like 3 a.m. getting ready for work, and Curtis texted me and was like, hey, by the way, we want you guys on the second day of Tied Down. Just make sure you're there. And we were like, okay, cool. Sounds good. We'll be there.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Sweet.
Congrats. I love the attitude, because when you say you kind of have this like you don't, almost like this, you don't try too hard, like you just have fun with it, and you kind of don't give a fuck a little bit, like, you know what I mean, like it's just kind of like it come and go. Do you think that's part of the success of the band?
I mean, everyone cares. Like we do, like as much as we say like we don't care, like we care a lot.
I'm saying I don't
hear
say
you.
it like that, but like I know you care, but I'm just saying like you're not trying extremely hard, like you're not hard basically,
right?
Yeah, we've never been like I guess like we do like our funny videos on Instagram, but we're not like a media band. We don't put a ton of stuff out. I don't know if it's made us more successful, but I will say there was a like mysterious aura to us when we were first playing shows and had no music out for like 2 years.
Yeah,
there wasn't like a word of mouth aura, and I think that helped us.
Okay,
interesting. Tell me more. What started that?
We just Dom has always been crazy on stage, and then there was no music to listen to based off of that. So everyone would kind of be like, oh, if you want to see this band or hear this band, you have to come to the show. You have to get to the gig.
Adding on to that, my first time seeing the Sissy Boys was like, it was called Sweatfest, and it was in 2023, like late December, whatever. I saw like Dom come in wearing like this fishing jacket,
Yeah.
and then like a really big hat, and like everybody like went to the front, like everybody in Sissy Boys like went to the front of the stage to see all the bands, and we're like right there. Then they get up on stage, and it was like one of the coolest shows I've seen.
Thanks.
At that time. And then it got really wild. They were doing We Want to Fight, but literally everyone in the venue already knew it. And this was like 1.5 years before they put
no
any
release music.
No.
It's crazy.
They had like the most dedicated fan base probably out of the whole show. It seemed like there was like PAs on the stage. One of them actually fell over during We Want to Fight, and it was just like chaos.
I completely forgot about that. I won't lie. I forgot about that until you brought it up.
It was the coolest shit ever. There's like a picture of like the PA falling. It's like tilting, and there are people like looking up at it. It's like like a Renaissance painting.
Yeah, like
nice.
People trying to like fight or flight.
There's a really cool video on Reddit I found like a couple weeks ago. I was just like on Reddit because a lot of people like to trash talk the Sissy Boys on Reddit sometimes. Which I love reading hate comments.
It's funny.
I was gonna say
That's funny.
that's where
like,
they mostly trash talk
Yeah.
shit, right?
That's-
It's Reddit, like,
It's also a sign of
yeah.
success.
We
Yeah.
love
Yeah, you're doing great.
we love taking little screenshots and putting them in the group chat and being like, look at this asshole.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
But
Yeah, when you reach the level of people actually taking time to hate on your band, you're doing something right.
oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to have thick skin because even with this show, like, we've had a few videos go kind of crazy with some views
Mhm.
and stuff,
Yeah.
like a couple 300,000.
Some anomalies,
yeah, some ones that
It's
just kind of
awesome.
hit, But there's always going to be those assholes that are just
Oh,
talking
yeah.
shit. Or
Oh
like,
God.
just recently we had one, and I talked about it before, but some guys like, yeah, two guys just sitting around the table talking about nothing for hours, and I'm just thinking like, well, what the fuck are you doing? You're on the internet commenting about the two dudes that talk about nothing for hours.
Yeah,
What the
you're-
fuck are you doing, bro?
Exactly. Yeah,
You're
exactly.
watching us.
Yeah, you're
Dumbass.
watching us talk about nothing. Like, are you complaining or are you
Yeah.
saying this is great? Because I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah.
I misspoke on a song title, and it didn't occur to me until like after the fact, and I'm listening to the clip, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like totally wrong album, wrong track title, just mixed up. And I was called out for it politely, but it's still in the moment I was like, what a dumbass. But can't be expected to know everything. Got to take
Right.
those things with a grain of
Shit
salt.
happens.
Yeah, like I don't have as thick a skin for it. I do and I don't. It really depends. I'm more defensive over Jay. Like if somebody's gonna attack Jay, I'm like the claws come out. I'm like, motherfucker, what's your address? Real quick though, let's meet up. Like we want to fight.
Yeah, there you go.
And what's funny about that is like people people make so much content and so much media and so much music, or there's so much of it out there that it's very easy for a guy that doesn't do shit just to dismiss that, like, oh, fuck the Sissy Boys, they suck or whatever. It's like, no, these guys are out here fucking grinding. You don't know how hard they work. Or the same with us. You know how much time it takes to put one of these podcasts together and all this shit in here. Like,
Dude,
It's
yeah.
more than just sitting around for
it's
2
very
hours.
easy for you just to disregard it with words, right? But
Yeah.
you don't really understand the work that it takes that you're putting
For
into
sure.
it.
It's like people are so quick to be so negative because it's easy.
Yeah. And then just a reflection on them too. It's like they don't have nothing going, so they just want to see your downfall, right? Because there's
Yeah.
nothing going for them.
So speaking
Right.
of work behind the scenes, it inspires this question: how are you guys? Are you guys just getting in the room to write? I don't know if I'm jumping the script, if I'm getting ahead here.
Please ask
but,
whatever
like,
questions you want, bro.
Just
We
because the
free-
different
free-flowing
cities,
here,
like,
dude.
are you getting always only writing in the room, or are you file sharing, like sending stuff back and forth? Like here's the chord progression. Get hip to it real quick, or Dom recorded this, sending it to you. Know it by next week.
We don't practice. Like we very rarely practice. We only really practice if we need to. Like if we fuck up really bad at a gig, we'll be like, we should probably practice.
Okay.
And then we'll either sit down and be like, okay, let's record. Like we do this thing where we'll get really inspired to record something, and we'll be like, let's write and record a 4-song EP tonight. Like we did
in
that
in a day.
We did that one night where we were like,
Yeah.
let's write 4 songs, and now we have 4 new songs from it, and we've just been like kind of sitting on them.
Mm-hmm.
But Dom will send us stuff, and like it'll be cool. He'll just be like, I just demoed this. Do you guys like it? And we'll be like, yeah, this is dope.
Yeah.
But-
I'll add in, I still haven't practiced with the Sissy Boys. Like the first show I played, I filled in on bass. It was at Parts and Labor just like a month ago, and learned all the songs from the EP. They sent me the files, learned them by ear, and got them down. But like, really haven't like practiced with them. It's like we really haven't needed to. I felt like we've been like pretty tight recently, but once we get to writing, we'll definitely be a lot more practicing and like just adjusting the set list and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's one part the style of music that you guys write where it's like not overly complicated. There's not 20 riffs in a song. It's like riff 1, 2, and or 3. Yeah. Here's the chord progression. Like,
yeah, for sure.
We got a gig on this day. Like maybe we meet up once before that. Maybe we just sound check.
I think we practiced. It was like just Dom, Bill, and I right before that. Gorilla Biscuits and like DGR Showcase, and we were just like, let's just like write some parts into the set of like, let's stop here during looking down the barrel, or like we did that like on the car ride down. We were like, just make sure everyone stops here.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just yeah, we've never really needed, because we played so much when we were younger. I feel like that's how we got so tight with the chemistry in the band, because like from the time we were 15, 14 till we were like 16, we would play almost every single weekend for like 3 hours straight, doing like ministry and stuff like that, like playing songs like that. And
it is the little shit that you pick up on that like shows that you guys have been playing for a really long time. Like when it comes to like writing songs, and just playing in general, you start to like take on each other's styles, understand what everyone likes in a sense, and it really shows within like the Sissy Boys as well. I'm still getting into the chemistry, but
so would it be fair to say then that you guys are just sitting at home in your bedrooms or on your own time practicing to the material?
Yeah,
like
I definitely do. Like I'll run through some of the songs on my amp at home before we do shows, just to make sure I'm dialed in, and just like make sure I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge proponent of practice more and more and more. I mean, that's just for me though. What is there a reason why you guys don't practice? Is it just because of schedules and trying to get together? Don't have a place to practice?
It's weird because we hang out like every single weekend.
Yeah,
and it's because we play so many shows, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because we're playing a show every week. Either if we're not playing a show, we're hanging out, and then if we're just hanging out, we're like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to get all the gear out from like, because it used to be we used to leave all our gear at Dom's house.
Okay.
And then when we started playing more, we were like, okay, I'm gonna start bringing my stuff home this weekend. So it's like, we don't need to practice. We're just gonna leave our gear at home and like get a pizza and hang out at Dom's house.
So we're still at least vibing and talking about music.
Oh yeah. We'll go.
That's cool.
We go to like B-dubs and for like on like Thursdays and get like the BOGO wings. Just hang out.
Just hang and shit. That's cool though.
They should bump down the road to Booyah's. I like their food.
Oh yeah, dude. Booyah's is so good.
I haven't been to Booyah's.
So
it's good.
I know we talked a little bit about this, but how did you know like Cam was the right fit for you guys when you were looking for another guitar player?
Because he wore a lot of cool outfits and he played guitar real good.
Oh, okay.
And
he knew all the words.
Yeah, he knew all the words. Yeah. We were like, this is our friend, and I would rather just have like someone we're friends with play guitar than someone who's like a real diehard about like, oh, I wanna riff out. We were like, it's more easy to just hang out with Cam.
Yeah.
I
mean, like I said, even before officially joining the band, it was like I was still hanging out with them. I was sitting in on like practices and whatnot, and it's like
the rare practices.
Yeah. Like it would be like a 20-minute jam sesh of like, okay, let's play this cover. Let's play this cover. Here's a Dom original. Here's something Bill wrote or something.
And I mean, it's just been cool from the jump. Like originally, they just wanted me to fill in on second guitar for the Gorilla Biscuits show, and then Black Xmas, which is a show that we got coming up December 28th.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down. And then maybe a couple weeks later, I'm like, dude, I kind of just want to join the band.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun music. I knew all of it, and it was just like I'm already hanging out with them so often. Like,
I think in the back of our heads, we were like, Cam's just in the band now. And then we never really told you.
Yeah, we never put a label on it.
Like, you're here, you pick up your guitar when we do, so I guess you're in the band now, brother.
Yeah, just found out 2 minutes ago.
So what are we?
And then you texted me that one night, and you're like, can I be in the band like as a member? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were.
All right, cool.
Oh, you didn't get the email?
Right.
Well, that's awesome. I understand that, and this kind of leads me to this question because I heard you say. So right when you got out of high school, it sounds like you were just playing a lot of shows all the time. But it sounded like you had a different band, and you had a different band as well. So you did have like a or like a different version of some music that you were playing before this band, basically.
When Dom moved to Montana, we weren't doing anything with the Sissy Boys, so we just kind of were like filling the void there a little bit. But now those guys, it worked out for Cam because now the guys that were in the band I was in are in a band with Cam that rules called Concuss.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in another band as well.
Concuss is like. It's more heavy hardcore. It's more metal leaning.
Okay.
Those brothers are like super into slam. They love like cerebral incubation. They're all about that defeated sanity shit. It's fucking sick. And I'm like, typically a practice for Concuss. We practice a lot more often just because it's like it's more technical shit.
It's real music.
It's it's just like it's more fun shit. But then they also take a lot of inspiration from like Baltimore shit. So like Queensway was a big band.
Okay.
They love Dying Fetus.
Oh,
all that kind of shit.
Yes.
I mean, I do too. So it was like we were a good fit. But once Dogpile like ended, they were looking to start another thing, and I think they saw me like walking with my girlfriend in Grand Haven, and it was amidst them talking about wanting to start another band. So they hit me up, told my girlfriend like, "Yeah, I just got a text from Zach. Like they want me to play in their band," and so I did. We met up for practice, and it was like, just like the Sissy Boys, we just clicked like immediately. Like a typical Concuss practice will be like, I don't smoke, but they do. Well, they'll like go outside, they'll bring like their Bluetooth speaker, and then we just show each other music and jam out. But I mean, we've got some new music kind of working right now. We're just trying to figure out when to record it, but that's another band that I'm in that's been really fucking fun with them as well.
So how does that work with being in both bands? Like, is there priority or?
I'd say as of recently, it's been like I've definitely been doing a lot more with Sissy Boys because of the amount of shows that we've been playing.
Yeah.
With Concuss, a lot of the guys, including myself, were definitely on like a busier schedule. And I would say like the songwriting process, it's a little bit like harder. Just because like trying to write more technical parts. Like we just want to play like really crazy hardcore.
Okay.
Like we want to play hardcore with like intricate guitar and bass parts. Like I'm playing bass for that one. So it is like a lot more work that goes into the songwriting. But then we're also planning on doing a lot more shows come the winter time, when we get some more music out. So that's kind of the plan right now, but main priority as of right now is the Sissy Boys for sure.
Okay. I know that can always be challenging when one band has more stuff going than the other. I know you want to stay busy and explore all your musical outlets. If one thing isn't quite exactly,
for sure.
Everybody has different tastes too. So
right. It's a balance.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about the name, the Sissy Boys. That might be just a very quick answer, but
that's all Aiden.
Yeah, Dom's brother Aiden. We like bounced around with names when we were younger, and then he came, and Dom was probably sitting on his phone in the basement, and he said, "Why don't you just call your band something like the Sissy Boys? That's kind of old school."
Yeah.
And then we were like, "That's funny. We'll do that."
What, you a bunch of sissy boys?
Yeah. That's really just the vibe of it.
Yeah.
What a bunch of sissy boys, huh?
Big time.
When all the guys talk like that.
Yeah, when everyone had the transatlantic accent.
Yeah,
we should bring that back.
That's what it's called. Me and Bill were talking about that a couple weeks ago. We couldn't remember what that was called.
Let's bring it back. That's a vibe.
Yeah, I'm down.
So I know we talked a little bit about the writing process. Nick had brought it up, but you said that Dom demos out some stuff. And now, do you like throw riffs in the pile, or like what is that? Now, do you have some riffs that you're dedicated to the Sissy Boy? Like, I'm wondering about that a little deeper into the writing process.
When we did the songs that we just wrote and recorded, it was
the little 4-song band. Yeah, about?
Bill and I went to Wesco. We picked up some snacks and we got a little juiced up and went back to Dom's house, and we were like, okay. I was like, here's a riff, and I just started playing. I was like, play along, or like play this for me. And I play a riff on it, and then we were like, that sounds cool. Let's keep it. Like I don't know if you remember, but like the 3rd and 4th song in our set, that was off that.
Okay.
Those were the two we were just like, let's do this song, and it's gonna go into the next song, and it's gonna sound fucking tough.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna It's just like we'll write something, we'll write a riff, we'll stand up and be like, "That's cool. Let's keep doing it and see if we hate it." And then Dom would hit record. We'd record it, listen back to it, be like, "This is tough. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep it."
Okay.
But Dom's stuff, when he records it, it's a lot more like intricate. Sounds a lot more like Youth Crew vibes.
Okay.
Our stuff sounds a little bit more just like stomp, have fun. It's all fun. It's all good vibes.
Yeah, I love that attitude. Like I said, like you get into that like try hard land where I have to put out 92 pieces of content a day.
Yeah.
I got to get a manager. I got to do this. I got to do that. But if that's when the fun usually stops. So like kind of keeping that attitude always like we're here to have fun, right? We're here to do this music because we love to do it.
And that is what's really nice about this band is that we're all just friends. Like at the end of the day, it really is just us hanging out. When we're going to play a show, we spend the whole day like, oh, where are we going to eat at?
Yeah.
It's not like how long does it take to get the venue? It's where are we going to go eat, and then where's a cool record store nearby?
Yeah.
Or like,
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's a good question to ask because if you don't, and then at the last minute you find yourself loading in or setting up or sound checking, you're like, I haven't eaten today.
yeah,
And
Starving.
yeah.
and I get hangry.
Yeah.
I think collectively we all do.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And you also don't want to eat too close to stage time because then you're kind of lethargic, bloated.
Yeah.
Kind of want to get that out of the way. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that I'm always apprehensive about that. I'll be honest, because like if I have to go to the bathroom, like these fucking venues could have some sketch. Like at least
Oh,
in
for
Kalamazoo at Bell's,
Yeah.
you know it's gonna be a nice bathroom. But if you had to actually shit or something, you're like,
Yeah. It's like you're
Like,
playing in a
there's-
basement.
You're like, there's not even a door on this bathroom.
We've got GR on lockdown now, where we're like, we can go to Two Beards and we know we're safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good food. Like that place.
Yeah, so that riff, like, say, Jake, you came up with that riff. Was that something you, like, fucked around with at home, or you were just like, oh, check this out? Like,
I'll like riff back and forward at home and be like, that might be cool for something, and then I'll forget it, and
Oh,
then like, and I'll just try and play it the best I could to the last
Okay.
time I remember hearing it.
okay. So you do have kind of like maybe a little riff bank, couple.
Yeah, I've
Rolled
got
about that,
like
you're like-
3 or 4 bangers saved up
Yeah.
in the phone, ready to go at any time.
Hell yeah,
But it's
that's
like,
the way to go. Fuck yeah. Now, is that, are you going to be involved with any writing now that you're taking up second guitar?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't really sat down and written with them. But I definitely know once we have some more free time and we actually do get more into writing, I would love to have a part in it.
Okay.
I know. Well, Dom and Bill goes to state, Dom goes to Eastern. So like whenever they come home, a lot of the time when they're home for the weekend, we're all just hanging out. But like when they're home for a dedicated break of like most of December, we're gonna spend a lot of that time just like writing and
Hell yeah.
hanging out,
Yeah.
going out to eat,
Just being creative.
probably going for walks and sledding, having
Going
lots
to
of winter fun,
snowball fights,
snowball fights, and making snow angels.
snow angels,
No.
snowmen.
Now, you, is everybody in the band straight edge then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Is that just a conscious decision that,
Mm-hmm.
like, is that a thing? Like, we are Sissy Boys, we are straight edge? Because a lot of times that, you know, in hardcore, that's a thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
We're a straight edge band, but we're not like a band where we're talking about it to people. Like
gotcha.
we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that fine line where it's
'Cause
like, yeah, I'm straight edge, but then you got to be straight edge too, like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
kinda one
We
of
did
those
the
things.
Edge Day split with Persist, which was fun. But that's like the most public straight edge thing that we have done.
Okay.
Of
Uh-huh.
like, I think
Other than like Xing up or
yeah, we
wearing a
X up
watch.
or like I'll do the occasional straight edge shout out into the mic before
Yeah.
like I have you part. But
Okay.
that's about it.
Yeah, I did see that you guys had the X's. That's why I asked.
I
'cause
just
was
thought you
like,
guys were minors.
That
Literally thought you were minors. I didn't think anybody was 21.
Is that just a thing though? Like, did you guys dabble in like any drugs or alcohol and said you didn't want it, or that was just something like, no, I'm against this, or like, you know, everybody's journey is
yeah.
different with substances, but
Everyone, at least in the Muskegon area, we were all just kind of like, what's the point now? We're
Yeah.
like we're older. We can have fun, just filling our bellies with awesome food and
Yeah,
going
it's
to watch
more
a movie.
fun to spend money on food than like alcohol.
Yeah,
Or like
in
going
my
to the
humble
dispensary.
opinion.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that, you know, a lot of bands, they drink, they get into it, and you got
Rock
the guy.
stars.
Yeah, you got the guy that comes to band practice and he's got a drink. I never
Mhm.
understood that shit. Like that, you know, I've
Yeah.
never been much of a drinker. I've had my fair share, you know, or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and I've spent plenty of days, you know, sober, you
Mhm.
know, as sober as can be too. So there's nothing to matter with that. I just when it sometimes you get them people that are just like, we're straight edge, and that's like all they're about, and that's all they care about. So I'm just wondering, because you guys are so young, some people are just like, yep, I'm against it, or I know so and so was a fuck up in my life and I seen it ruin their life, so that made me not want to touch it at all. Like, that's why I was kind of wondering if you guys had even just, I tried some alcohol and it just sucked, I got sick, or
there's like personal connections for all of us, but it's a lot of it is just like none of like now all of us are straight edge, so it's like no one's really like almost kind of like pressured into like we're all just kind of hanging out sober. Like we're all just like, very content with being with each other, being very clear-minded, very level-headed.
I I used to smoke, like I drank like a little bit. I just kind of got bored of it.
Gotcha.
And then I like found straight edge and straight edge music, and I thought that was super cool. But it wasn't until like after becoming straight edge, like seeing what that kind of shit can do to like interpersonal relationships, how that affects like the family dynamic and a lot of that other shit, and it just like made me more deeply rooted instead of just making it like a choice because I'm bored of it, to having it become like more of a personal connection and more of like a dedication,
like a purpose.
Just take a look around the room when you're in a bar. Like just look at the guy. Look at the guy who's withering away into his bottle. Like just, and then that should be all it takes. Like I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like I just don't want to be out at the bar like kind of propped up against the wall. I'm on my fifth beam and coke. Like what are we talking about? What are we doing? Like where's my life? Like
it's just embarrassing.
Look, like I drink probably more than Jay, but very little. And
I was gonna say because any is more than I drink.
But like you just at some point you're like, how many days you're gonna waste on a hangover?
Right.
How many weekends you're gonna waste on a hangover?
Yeah.
Like how many productive activities are you gonna miss out on because you just don't have the energy? Now, I don't want to hear people sing about their substance any more than I want to hear anybody sing about their lack of substance. Like, like if it's all you're singing about is being straight edge, I think you're gonna narrow your fan base, even though you guys are killing it right now. But I think it's also all right, like, to mention it, bring it up. You got a song about it. Hey, this is the way we live. This is the way we choose what we're about. That's fine too.
Be proud.
This is our anthem. In your face. But I think if the whole album, if every song is about that, anybody would be like, come on.
Like we got it after the first
I'm ready
song,
for a drink.
These guys caused me to drink.
I think looking back to my youth and being your guys' age, smart choice.
Yeah.
Fucking smart choice,
dude,
man.
Like you guys are going to be able to get so much more done. You're not going to be like when you hit the road, I'm assuming we'll talk about that in just a second, but like you're not going to be dealing with all that fucking tired and hungover all day, It's just in your
maybe
life.
Too much sugar, but that's it.
Yeah,
we never had to worry about a DD.
Too much candy.
Which is cool.
Yeah. No, it's just going to make so many things smoother, not just in your personal lives, but just communication with other people. If you surround yourself with people that aren't using, then it's just going to be so much easier to get things done and be on the same page. And it's a really healthy, good choice. I approve. I applaud you guys for that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that because it's like, would it be a thing where you have to be straight edge to be in the Sissy Boys?
That's kind of how
Cam wasn't in the band anymore, like just for some reason concussed becomes bigger than Metallica and he has to leave.
Yeah. I know we've always like said like Sissy Boys is an edge band, so like I don't know. I feel like the dynamic would still work out with someone who's not straight edge in the band, but I can't speak on everyone, but I feel that way, but also like I do like that it is an edge band. I think that's cool.
That's sweet.
It's cooler and it gives us all something that we can like relate to. Like you would kind of stick out as a sore thumb if you were in the band and you weren't straight edge.
If you're the only dude on stage hammering down beers.
Right.
Yeah, and everyone else.
Or the only dude smoking weed before he shows up and you guys are like, what's up with this fucking guy, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would feel out of place. Like, man, I'm stoned around all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And they're not.
Different.
They're sober. It's like
I just think it speaks volumes when you get in the room and everybody's sober for the sake of music. Like that's what it's about. Like when the guy brings over the 6-pack or the guy's already high at the door, it's kind of like, God damn it! Like this guy's giving me 50% fucking effort. Like, get out of here with that shit. Like, can't it wait till after the practice? Like, and I know you guys are like
for sure
fun and loose with it, but I feel like a lot of air would be let out of the room if somebody rolled up high or drunk, and it's like, dude, like I was looking forward to jamming.
It would definitely bring it down like a little bit. And,
and it wouldn't be as fun or loose. Then it would be kind of like I don't even want to do this, or like
there might be some apprehension or
resentment.
Resentment. Yep.
Like, fuck this
Great
guy.
for sure.
This guy's out. Dick.
So let's talk about some shows. You guys said you've been grinding on shows. So many barely practice, which is I respect, because sometimes, man, hauling that fucking equipment around ain't no joke, especially in my band when the drummer has 2 fucking kick drums and a giant ass set, So, I just a couple I wanted to talk about the experience stage at Electric Forest. You guys played that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So is that stage that's kind of like in the woods and there's woods all around it? Is that the stage?
I think they had a few, but the one that we were in was called the Dream Emporium, and it was a big tent, almost like weird circus vibes, where there was a bunch of different rooms with a bunch of different crazy shit happening in all of them.
Okay.
And we played in front of a WWE style boxing event.
Really?
So they would do a round, and then we would play for we played for an hour. And it sucked. We did terrible. There was some big magazine rep there that was supposed to be a big deal. He was there, and he was coming to watch us. And I think he walked out right after we were halfway through our first song. Everyone was tired and hot. It was really cool to get into Electric Forest for free. And it was really fun to be straight edge at Electric Forest,
dude, and play with Ludacris.
Oh yeah, and we could say we played with Ludacris.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
But we were employees, so we didn't get any of the perks of being an artist there.
Oh, really?
Supposedly there was free food for us, but we couldn't find it, and no one would tell us where it was. We couldn't get into the green room areas. It was pretty crazy.
What do you mean you were employees? That's what they marked you as?
We had a staff wristband and not an artist wristband.
Oh man, that's whack.
It was chill. It was fun to get to walk around all day and see all the crazy shit that happens. Watching someone do a bump to Ludacris in front of you is something that you don't get to experience that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the opposite of straight edge. That fucking festival right there.
Yeah,
that's as far opposite.
Plur.
That was probably the most outspokenly straight edge we've been at a show. Doing straight edge call outs just because it's
just because
it's a very not straight edge event.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that's when you have a little fun with it for sure.
Yeah.
And the dude's tripping on acid, what's straight edge?
And you're telling them that the cops are right around the corner, and they know
coming after all of you.
Yeah.
I didn't know EF had actual instrumental artists perform there.
String Cheese Incident plays every year, I think.
Yeah. I'm not
cool.
even in touch with the culture.
That's not even when the Venn diagram of Modd's life in Electric Forest, there is no overlap.
Yeah.
They're not even on the same page. It's back of the book.
Turn into the page 500. I swear that diagram's in here somewhere where Modd knows about Electric Forest.
I know it because they used to swing through at work for food on their way.
Whoa.
At the Gnarly Heifer?
Yeah. The last couple of years, I know EF's been going on for a long time, but Gnarly Heifer was up and running for the last 2 years, and everybody'd stop through and get food. So
sweet.
We tell them where the disc golf course is and where they can buy weed.
Awesome.
Got a couple spots.
So we talked about Tied Down, how you guys got on it, but man, how fucking cool that you got the Hate 6 video out of it.
Dude, yeah. So he was at our Gorilla Biscuits show too, and we were shocked that he remembered us because he meets so many people that we went up and started talking to him. And he was like, "Oh, Sissy Boys, what's up?" And it was real cool. He's a real chill guy. Sonny's awesome, but that was surreal for us to see it because we spend so many nights in Dom's basement watching Hate 5-6 videos.
Right.
To be on the channel now is real cool.
That was one of my introductions to hardcore was seeing it's the iconic Harm's Way video where he's doing the running. Yeah, he's doing the Running Man. And then
doing the fucking
exactly. Yeah. And just kind of scrolling through the channel, and I mean that was 4 or 5 years ago of me finding that stuff. But then for me and the rest of the Sissy Boys to get put on the channel with the video is super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome because if you Google you guys' name, there's your Instagram and your Bandcamp, and then there's 3 videos and there's Tied Down. I'm that's fucking so cool, man.
Yeah.
Just because of all the amazing bands that they have filmed and been on, I've watched so many videos on that channel too myself because they You know, there's everybody on that channel from 200 Stab Wounds, Dying
Yeah.
Fetus. I
Right.
mean, you know, there's so many different bands. So I thought
really
that
cool.
was fucking awesome, man.
I love letting people look up the Sissy Boys on like YouTube and other social media platforms because it doesn't bring up our band a lot of the time.
Oh, I put. Well, I seen your. I wanted to ask you about that. So if you go into your Facebook, it just says like,
do not Google the
Sissy Boys. Like, yeah, I just put band after it because I didn't want to really realize what was going to come up. I didn't know if it was like some Taiwanese man boys.
Yeah,
or
some
something.
lady boys.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
you
so
get it.
I assumed that's what I was going to get, but my quota on looking at man boys was all the way full at that time, so I didn't need to
sick.
check.
So yeah,
Cool.
you're raw dog on the internet pretty dangerously there, Jay. I'll go to the app first. Like I'll go to Spotify, then I'll go to Bandcamp or Facebook, and then I'll type in the band name. And my first thought googling this was like, this could be sketchy.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah.
like I don't know what this is outside of a band that I just saw 2 days ago. So I'm gonna go about this smart. I'm gonna get into Spotify first. I'm a little bit more insulated from random shit.
Just don't even try it on Reddit.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a nightmare.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would type the band because I want to see what these dumbasses are saying about you guys. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you got people talking shit about you on on Reddit, you've done something so far. So
Well, besides the band, you're saying, right? Like you'll get some random.
Yeah, you'll get some
Just-
crazy stuff on there.
oh yeah, for sure. Any other shows that just of recent that were awesome? I mean, that show in Kazoo fucking was badass, man.
Thanks.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a real
Like,
good one.
It was cool that you guys got added to it or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
The drive sucked ass.
Yeah. But
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's, it's
I had
long
a
drive.
pretty chill time. I was on mostly back roads the whole way up.
Okay.
So it was kind of just like driving through Allegan and being like, wow, this is a beautiful winter landscape right now. That was
yeah,
cool.
going slow too.
Yeah.
Man. Like we weren't in no hurry to get home, but it was like fucking of all the days it's got to snow
Yeah.
like this,
Right.
Yeah.
Because we plan on going for a while to that show. Obviously we had Dies and RIY and all those guys on. They're good friends, so But yeah, any shows that you'd like to speak of that
When
kind of
we-
like stood out to you that were memorable?
Mhm. When we did DGR Showcase, which is like they did like a big celebration of the label in Cleveland. That was Cam's first show on guitar, and that was like magical. Felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your first show?
That
Am I
was
wrong? Okay. Yeah.
and it was like a mystery because I came out wearing those Archie
the
glasses.
Groucho Marx glasses.
Yeah, Groucho. Yeah. And because there was a gag store just like down the street from.
We stayed at Birdhouse.
Yeah, it was like another venue for the first day of DGR. We got to stay there, and just down the street, it was like we bought like slide whistles and like the glasses and just like a bunch of funny shit to do during the DGR set, and it was super fun. Like that point, I realized like playing with Sissy Boys is just like I get to hang out with my friends, but like on stage with my guitar.
There's a really cool clip of Dom on YouTube from that show of him going up during like the breakdown and looking on the barrel and blowing he has like a slide whistle and he's blowing it into the microphone
yeah,
we were saying it's like speed.
Yeah, I was gonna say the flute and speed.
Yeah.
So that was a cool show. Good turnout there. or
Real
whatever.
fun. I love Ohio's scene because they mosh really hard.
Nice. Hell yeah.
crazy.
Had the
yeah.
Mosh Police Saturday night,
Oh yeah.
Friday
you
night.
That
guys
was-
were getting police.
That was so cool.
No, not really.
Thank you to security for keeping us safe.
Yeah, making everything worse.
Well, like Snakeout wasn't really having no activity, but as soon as you guys came out, fucking people were going crazy, and that dude was that small bouncer. He was like 4'7" or something, and he was
Yeah.
trying to bounce people. I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is the guy for the job here.
Well,
but
He got me good.
yeah, he was trying to like
He
stop
got me out of the
everybody.
pit good.
He was trying to stop everybody, but then once in a while, I'd see him kind of doing this, like he was trying to enjoy himself, but at the same time, he was trying to get everybody. To
I know. I
Yeah.
felt so bad for him. He was having a real rough night.
Yeah,
that is
at
like
one point,
some traumatic shit.
Dom put the microphone down for everyone to come up and sing right in front of him, so that they would all just flood around him, and like just stuff like that. It's like,
I think he learned the words real quick.
yeah,
Well,
he got it.
During Mouthful of Locusts, he got in there and he like stopped a couple of things from happening. But then at one point, I think at the end of their set, maybe like the whole pit erupted. I was like,
Yeah.
"Where you at now? Like,
Yeah,
come on,
that's-
stop the whole pit, bro!
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
stopping
Yeah.
one or two people from bopping around is one thing, but like you ain't man enough to stop the whole pit, dude. You get squashed.
I was standing there filming, and I just looked back, and I just seemed like
People
like
having
stomping
fun.
his foot, like the guy with his hand on his head, like all fucking mad, like
Yeah.
like what the fuck? Why do we let this riffraff in here? This is a brewery, goddammit.
I don't even. What type of shows do they usually have there?
Not
metal.
that.
Not
I
metal.
Okay.
figured.
But I love seeing that. You know why? Because they're like, oh, metal can make some money here.
Yeah.
We did the same thing when we played with Dies in Muskegon not too long ago, and we'll probably do the same thing when we play here at the end of the month with them.
Mhm.
It's like when you can pack that place out and a lot of people show up, they may not love metal or hardcore at their venue, but when you show them you can at least do it once in a while, like once in a quarter or whatever, we can make your business money. I know you don't love the metal, and we got some fucking guys wearing all black and whatever coming in there, but it's like...
I think more than anything, it is a concern for the moshing, but there was nothing to be destroyed at Bell's. All the tables and chairs were gone.
Yeah.
And I think they're just kind of worried about, people getting hurt in their venue, which is fair. But I also feel like a mosh pit is pretty well self-contained.
Yeah, it's very,
mostly. Like people
Very
that
well
don't want to be in
policed.
it, they'll back up. And people that fall down will get picked up, So I think let it go and prepare your venue for that sort of a thing.
Yeah, when you police it, I mean, it really did just make everything worse. Like it just made the people moshing and moving. It just made them more amplified, and it was.
They don't want to be held back.
Well, it's like Jeremy during our set took his shirt off.
Yeah, that was.
And the security guard telling him to put it back on. He was like, he told me after the set, he was like, I'm the type of asshole that just will keep doing it. Like, I don't even
Just
if I
to
don't
be a
want
dick.
to, just to be a dick.
Yeah.
It's like he's taking his shirt off. Like, how much damage can that do to the people around?
Who's he ruining?
Not me. my appetite.
I was gonna say he's ruining me. Unless he has deodorant on, but some people don't. So fuck.
Sticking my fingers in my eyes. No, Jeremy, no.
No, Jeremy, put it back on. Why the pants too? No, put those on.
We were saying last night, how good does the set have to be where you want to take your shirt off?
Yeah,
like
no shit.
At what point do you think to yourself, this is awesome and I want to take my shirt off?
Yeah, it's like good set and then like full Bert Kreischer mode. After that. Like,
Well, there's
And I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
well, the moshing
fuck
frees
yeah.
you, but then enough moshing will be like, I need to be freer yet.
I-
So
yeah.
the shirt
Yeah.
comes
Yep,
off.
freedom and then liberation.
Yep,
After
yeah.
that.
There you go. Yeah.
That's full. That's
Pants
true
off is the
enlightenment.
revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have yet. That'll come next at the Sissy Boys show.
I think
for
that's
sure.
the title of your next song.
Yeah.
Pants off the revolution. Not dance the revolution. Pants off the revolution.
There you go.
Yeah. And I think the moshing's fine. It's just like the stage diving. That's when motherfuckers really get fucked up, though. It's
Oh,
like-
yeah.
And there was no stage diving happening there or whatever.
No, but
but that's when shit starts to get a little sketchy because motherfuckers are flying through the air,
So
about to a full body land on you.
at
it's
DGR Showcase, the day before Gorilla Biscuits, our drummer got a concussion from getting dove on during Slug set. And he was not all there during Gorilla Biscuits,
Oh,
but he still
damn.
played a good set. Like when
Yeah.
the videos come out from it, you'll be able to see. But no,
That night was like really strange. I'd never like experienced like being with somebody who just got concussed because it was like right after the set, he's like, dude, I don't know where I'm at. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I think someone like landed on me. And like right after that happened when we were talking in the venue, he remembered our set. But then we got into the car. He's like, wait, did we play? He thought
Damn,
he kept
dude.
looking at
That
his
was-
phone, and it was like at 12:30, and he's like, "Oh fuck, did we play with Gorilla Biscuits already?" It was really crazy, and it was like a time loop. But like literally the next morning, it was like almost had like not even happened. It was just a really
like he was already healed from it. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we were like messing with him, like saying how we had to take the pressure out of his head by sucking it out of him. And,
Did he have any memory
and then he was like,
the next day?
of the night, I think he remembers it now. But he
he
doesn't
got it
remember.
back.
So it like came back around.
Yeah.
right.
Some
It's
guys
just-
don't get it back. They black out from a concussion. And
That happened.
Right.
So he's been concussed twice now. So he's like, we've retired him from moshing. He's
he's
not
on
allowed
mosh
to be in the front
retirement.
anymore.
Especially
But-
being your drummer, he needs all of his limbs.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
break a foot.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can't.
Right.
And then that night ended up getting crazy because after we got out of the hospital, we're like chilling him out. We're like, just go to bed. Like, just the doctor said you could sleep. Just go to bed. And we go to we're trying to get a motel because it's like 3 a.m. at this point.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So we're looking at like the cheapest ones we can go to the night of, and the one we go to, Dom's brother's in town. He lives in Montana.
He came and hung out with us during the DGR show.
And he's driving us around, and Dom and him go into this motel, and we're all sitting in the car, and there's like cops circling the building. We're in downtown Cleveland, just sketchy. People walking in and out, and they're sitting in there, and they come back out to the car. They look sketched out, and they're like, someone was like screaming in one of the rooms, and it wasn't like a pleasure scream. It was like a murder scream.
Yeah.
And the dude at the front desk, they're like, "Are you gonna go check that out?" And he's like, "I'll do it in a minute."
He was like, extremely weird, like just like your typical.
He's getting phone calls.
Horror movie
weirdo,
like bellhop like looking guy. Yeah, like he looked like gray and disheveled.
That's probably a daily occurrence. For him.
Yeah, like he's so sick and tired of it.
He's getting phone calls, and he's like, "I'll go down there in a minute. I'll check it out." And he's like, "I have to go figure this out." And they're like, "Yeah, you probably should go figure that out."
Yeah.
And they were like watching him walk down on the security camera, and they were like, "We're gonna watch this guy get murdered when he opens the door for sure." And like,
that's insane.
And then he comes back and he still asks, like, "So do you guys want the room or?"
I can put you 2 doors down from the screaming if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't hear it as much. All right, so let's talk a little bit about touring. What does that look like for you guys? Obviously, with two of your members in school, takes up a big part of their time.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming touring is something you guys want to do, right?
Yeah, we're all in school right now, but I think come summer, come spring, we'll be able to do more like weekenders of like 4 days, because we did 1 4-day so far, and then we'll do like weekenders of like just 2 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And we've never had a problem with it. It's always been fun. Dom always drives. He's a good driver most of the time. And then
he is a really good driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens if some label approaches you guys and says, "Hey, we want to put you on the road, blah 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 blah"? Is that school take a hiatus then, or?
We've always said like, yeah, we'll do whatever to just like get to go out for a month, as long as it's with people that we like think are cool.
That makes sense. Hold up, let me check this out real quick.
Okay. Like if we were approached by a band we don't care about and we knew it was going to be dumb, I don't think I'd do it.
No, I'd probably stay in
just because it'd be crazy vibes.
Yeah.
But like, fucking, I don't know. Most modern hardcore bands could ask us to go out for like 2 weeks, and I'd be down.
It would be so cool. Yeah, because I mean, like we've done the weekender thing so many times, but like to actually go out on tour for like whatever, like at least like a week, on end, I think that shit would be really cool. Like I would love to like, you know, go out west or go more east, just do something like that, just be able to experience it. Like I really wouldn't care how the shows go. I just want to be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's nice to travel while you're young, to make the memories and be in a good enough shape
Totally
to be on the road and to experience those cities and places. Whereas, you know, people put off traveling until they're older, retired, and you can't hike in the woods as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys are going out hiking everywhere you go, but like, you know, there's stairs, there's walking through the city, there's crossing streets, you know, there's watching out for traffic, and it's all shit that old people don't want to do.
And we're always scheming of like, oh, let's go do 4 days out somewhere. Let's go do 4 days out here. Let's go with this band. Let's go with this band. That's just like a matter of we need to like lock in, book the shows, and get out there and do it.
Yeah, fucking do it.
So that's what you guys are going to be just doing for a while, doing as many shows as you can in between other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Now you go to school here then?
Yeah, I'm at MCC.
Okay,
so
cool.
is Mick, our bass player.
Okay, cool. So what's your favorite part of just being in the Sissy Boys?
Just hanging out with my friends.
Oh yeah.
Every single week.
It's always a big hangout. Yeah.
That's the common answer on this show. Like everybody kind of goes above and beyond the creative part and everything. It's just like I found some guys that I like spending time with, and we're like the homies, you know. So
it's just one big party, especially because we've been friends for so like we did a Friendsgiving and just got a bunch of pizza and
dude, it was I had a crazy plate. It was like we got Little Caesars. I picked up like some like nuggets from McDonald's, and then Bill brought like sweet potatoes and like mashed potatoes and pumpkin pie that his mom made. So it was like the most insane.
Oh, and Mick brought Subway cookies and churros.
He did bring Subway cookies. Yeah, it was a really good.
It was like a 60,000 calorie meal.
Yeah, it was
3 fast food joints on one day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's a feast for sure.
Right after that, we drove down to, what was it, Montague?
Mouth Cemetery, the haunted cemetery. Nothing happened.
No, we did not. We did not get spooked as much as we
Shocking.
thought we wanted to.
Is that the same for you, Cam? You love being the Sissy Boys, just hanging out, being boys and shit?
It's legit, like, it's music aside, it is just like people I like hanging out with. So, I mean, adding that to the fact that, like, I'm in a band with them, it just makes it's so easy. Like, we're always doing, like, something.
So this has kind of been the only band. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
buddy.
you're good.
Yeah.
That was it.
This has been the only band basically you've been in then, right? So
yeah, this
you
was our first band.
Okay. So you haven't really dealt with any other, like, troublesome personalities or people, like, so you guys got pretty lucky to be able to do that, because sometimes it takes a little filtering through jamming with this guy. Nope, we're not jamming with that guy no more. He's good, but he's a fucking weirdo, and I can't hang out with him, you know?
Yeah.
It's a different ball game when you're in a band with your friends versus 10 years, 15 years down the road, and now you're trying to cobble together a band. Somebody moves on with their life. Hey, guys, I'm out, like, whatever. A couple guys drop out. Next thing you know, you're starting a new band, and now you're just trying to get musicians so that you can perform and play, but they might not pass the vibe check. And so then it's constantly like rotating a member, or just like it's almost impossible to get something off of the ground as you get older. You know, like it's pretty tough finding the musicians that can play and also hang out with you. Like that, like we had it for a while. We ran with it, and it was nice. But now you're like, it's a fucking business. It's a side hustle. It's a lot of work. And sometimes you're like, you do drag your feet to the practice because you're like, I don't want to fucking do this today, you know. But you guys got it made right now by the sounds of it. Like, you're boys. You love playing the music that you play. It's a big hangout whether or not you practice. Like, that's pretty much living the life, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like if it wasn't the lineup that we have right now, we wouldn't do it.
Right.
Like, if something happened where, like, Bill, Mick, Dom, Cam, or I were in the band, we would just kind of be like, this isn't as fun as it used to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it wouldn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't.
Because everyone brings something a little different.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys?
We have some shows that aren't announced yet that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about.
We can talk about the ones that we do have.
But, like, Black Christmas or Black Xmas.
To be honest, we filmed quite a ways out on this, so this probably won't even be out till January. So.
Okay. I don't know when it gets announced, but we're supposed to go to Philly for some stuff. And then, like...
We got some Detroit stuff, like Black Xmas, and then we're doing the... Sanctuary does the 10 for 10 every year, so it's like 10 hardcore bands. You pay $10 at the door, and it's like they'll set up a stage on, like, the main stage, and then a smaller one kind of closer to the door, so that way it's like, once this band's over there, you run to the next stage and go see the next band. It's like really turns into like what would be the time space for like 6 bands. Now it's like 10. It makes it more smooth.
Yeah.
Then Dom's putting on like a bunch of bands in Grand Rapids for Better You Than Me Fest, which is that'll be fun.
You know where that's going to be?
4-Star Theater.
Oh, okay.
Is where I think he just locked it in at.
Believe so.
And yeah, it'll be fun. D-Block, or I guess it's not announced yet, but he's talked about it before. D-Block's headlining.
But then it's also like a bunch of
cool, like just our younger friends.
Younger bands, just trying to put on for each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys have any hobbies besides hanging out and doing music? Like, is there shit you guys do besides that? Obviously, you're pretty busy with school and whatever else, but...
I've been getting into, like, synths. I think that stuff's cool. But other than that, like, we eat a lot.
Yeah, eating is a big hobby.
Sounds like you're on your way to becoming foodies.
No, we kind of are.
Yeah.
I feel like we spend a lot of money on food. I don't know. I don't have a ton of crazy hobbies. I guess I just like, I kind of hang out, kind of like going for walks. I used to like biking a lot. Oh, I go to the gym.
Yep.
Okay.
Do that one.
That's good.
I got like a couple, dude, I picked up nunchucks. It was like one of my first times hanging out with like Jake and Dom and all of them. We went to a mall in Muskegon, and I got some nunchucks from there, so I picked that up. I had to put the controller down, but I was playing a lot of Elden Ring before school started.
Fuck that game.
Dude, I have mixed feelings about it, because it's like I'll spend 3 hours on a boss, but like, dude, when you beat him, it's so sick.
I know, that's
like man.
That's what I hear. Like, everybody loves
Screaming
those
at my
games because
TV.
it's so satisfying, but I just don't have the time or patience. Like,
no, man.
I'll be red in the face throwing my controller through the fucking TV. Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I own it, but I only bought it because my daughter and I, she's only 8, but at the time she'd been 5, 6 maybe. We were plowing through Dark Souls 3.
Whoa!
And then I
with your daughter, that's so sick.
Yeah, she's like really good at this, but kids, they don't have anything stopping them from being amazing gamers, right? They just pick up a controller and go.
do it.
Yeah, their brains are just like ready for it. They're like made for it. So I'm like plowing through Dark Souls 3. I got to a boss I can't beat, and I just stopped. Like I'm like, I'm not going to try to get better at a video game so I can beat this boss. It's been a good run.
Yeah.
But then I bought Elden Ring. And I let my daughter play it, and like within a day or two, like she's up to like some immediate boss in a boat, and I'm like,
"Whoa, really?"
Yeah, I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I found this boss." And
that one's so annoying.
She was like,
"I know what you're talking about."
I don't know if she ended up beating it or not. She hasn't played it in a while, but I think I've got like I've got like a hardcover manual coming. Like there's one or two of these things that are like 500 pages long.
Jeez,
I'm like,
that's beast.
Yeah, we'll see. She plows through all the book. Any game that's got like a playthrough guide, I'll like pick that up after she's played it for a while. Like, here you go. Got the Minecraft Blockopedia. She's sick. But yeah, those games, they can suck away your whole day, right?
Yeah. Most definitely. I was into that, and then like last year, Mick is into it right now, but Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Play that one.
I used to play that when I was younger, but I was scared of the frostbite spiders. So I like put it away, and then I manned up and started playing it again. I got addicted.
So you're just talking about the solo campaign, not the online?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to draw back and say that the Lakes Mall is the coolest place on planet Earth.
It is
it's
really
the only place that you can buy
awesome.
like a DVD and a pair of shoes and a like sword within 15 cents of each
some
other.
brass knuckles.
Yeah, you can buy brass knuckles and a pair of Converse within 10 paces of each other.
It's really amazing.
Wang's is sweet too, though.
Yeah,
they have so much stuff, man, in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, they have arcade games in there.
Oh, do they?
And the toy side of it, yeah, they have arcade games. Like they have Tetris.
Like
and,
you can play?
You can play them.
Oh, no shit.
Real cool.
I didn't know that. I haven't been there. I usually go there around the holidays and see what like Pop Funkos and stuff the kid wants. Or, whatever. Wife, she's really into Harry Potter, so whatever little Harry Potter thing I can find for her that she doesn't have. Or
nice.
Whatever.
We all get an itch for it that we have to scratch like once every couple months. We'll be like, let's go see what's happening and let's go see what 3 stores are open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you used to like skate as well?
When I was younger, like we all met, like we were never good, but we all like messed around with like BMX and skateboarding. Yeah. I know you skate and you're good at it.
Yeah, I was like a big thing. I definitely, once I started taking music more seriously, like getting into the scene, finding bands that I liked a lot, I was still skating, but I just knew I wasn't gonna progress like I wanted to when it came to like playing music. So I'll skate here and there. I used to like I got into like BMX a little bit over COVID, so I know how to like do a little bit, but nothing wild. I'm not airing out of bowls or doing big 360s and stuff.
Either of you guys ever catch an injury to biking or skateboarding?
Mick broke his wrist one time, or sprained his wrist.
Really?
And then that was when he stopped biking. That's kind of when everyone kind of fizzled out. It was like Mick got hurt, and then we were like, oh, we're doing shows now.
It's probably not the best thing to do to put ourselves in danger while we're playing music.
Scott Ian of Anthrax, he lost a summer to a broken wrist or forearm or something when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and that's when he put it down. He was like, okay, like I can't play my guitar now, which really sucks. Like I like skateboarding, but if I get on it again, could be another injury. I could be sitting out for 3 months not playing. And he's like, I'm not going to take any chances. So that was like the end of his skateboarding career before Anthrax got off the ground, really. But yeah, he's just sitting back and like not even able to play. Like that's usually where people stop.
It was pretty sweet. Our buddy in the band tried. He like sprained his wrist right before he came to Muskegon to play a show. And he showed up with a sling and he played bass in the sling.
It was while he was like singing, like doing vocals for his band too, which was like awesome.
Was spending some painkillers.
Yeah,
fucking hurt.
But like nowadays, if I'm gonna go skate, I'm gonna do some lazy bone stuff. I'll maybe hit a curb, do some ledge tricks, but I'm not gonna be doing a whole bunch of crazy shit. I'm not going downstairs anymore. Yeah,
all that stuff. It looks fun if you're good at it, but if you're not good at it, it probably isn't fun.
Every time I see somebody like slide down a rail on some steps, I'm like, teeth, face, teeth,
exactly,
nose.
Clipping it, and you're done.
Yeah, man.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with the Sissy Boys?
I think the Michigan scene right now is really strong.
It's so cool.
I think it's really cool how big hardcore is getting within the scene.
Because
I know when we were younger and when we first started out, like there was not a crazy scene for us specifically. Of like there wasn't a ton of cool like side to side hardcore bands coming around. Now I know like Jeremy and Brett with SF shows have been bringing really cool bands through Muskegon specifically. Like I know they started a few years ago at Credit Union, and now they've moved to Rate, which is an awesome space. That's like one of my favorite venues.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really happy with those guys. I'm really happy. Like, it sucks having to drive to Detroit, but I still do it. Detroit has such a strong scene right now.
Yeah. And I mean, there is definitely unity. I mean, with us being good friends with a lot of guys in Detroit, like a band called like King's Command, and like Bill and Dom from the Sissy Boys are playing instruments in that band, and it's like both like the East and the West combining into coolness, making this really cool like demo core band.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, scene is really cool. The community aspect of it is really cool. Just knowing that you have like people to talk to or like shoulder to lean on. But then just like having really cool friends that you can like have that similar interest in be so strong.
What when you say the East to West thing, now have you guys been invited to play any parties at these colleges that the boys are going to, or is that like maybe a thing, or
kinda.
you gonna crash a house,
Really?
or
I
the
mean,
Lansing gig.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was gonna go back when you played in Ohio for the first time.
Yeah, the first time we ever played in Ohio, we played at OSU, like co-op house, and that was pretty cool. But no, we've never played a party, like a real party.
Okay.
But it would be a cool thing to do. We've always wanted to do like a Halloween party or something, dress up like Kiss or.
Yeah.
Now we have a fifth
that's
member,
what
so we
Dies
can't.
did. Weren't they talking about that?
Yeah, they did
done
it before.
that.
Yeah.
Now we have to think of a 5-member band to dress up like.
Ooh.
Well, there were historically 5 members of Kiss. Just you got to pull one guy in that didn't exist. Like numerous drummers, correct, and numerous guitarists.
You're asking the wrong person.
Well,
that to me, that's one of the worst bands in history. I don't
Whoa.
know.
Don't tell Brent.
I'll tell him all the time.
I've said before, and I've taken heat for it. Like, the worst AC/DC song ever on record is better than the best Kiss song ever recorded.
There's a few things
Just bodied.
I don't try to ever drag anything through the mud. I'll just say it's not for me. And like, I've kind of grown. When I was younger, I'd say fuck that band, whatever. But Kiss is just one of those bands that's always, to me, it's just whatever they goes into my ear. I wish it never did. That's
I like
just
Cold Gin.
long.
I like any of the songs Anthrax covered.
I just didn't like them, and I guess I was such a big Pantera and Dimebag fan. I never understand why he liked them so much. But there's a lot of people that just love them. I mean, they'll want to be, have Kiss underwear and Kiss socks and all kinds of shit. I don't understand.
I think Thin Lizzy's the best band of all time.
That's a good band. That's a good band.
From that era.
Yep, I like that stuff.
Well, shit, boys. I appreciate your time and coming through. Do you want to ask them?
Yeah. We ask everybody, especially when we only have like the 2 guests. What are you guys listening to right now that you're really keen on? I like to know what's heavy, what's good, and what are you chilling out to when you're not listening to the heavy hard stuff?
Joni Mitchell and
Dude, nice.
Bob Dylan. And
So those are your chill vibes.
yeah, that's what I'm really putting on for right now. And then I like Haywire a lot.
Okay.
Listen to them a lot. Trying to think of what I was listening to. I guess I was listening to a lot of KMFDM last night.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
Yep.
And
That's a throwback.
just a lot of stuff like that. Anything.
Well, I heard you say Ministry before, too. So you like kind of that industrial
Dom put me
90s.
onto a lot of that stuff when we were younger.
Okay.
But
Nail Bomb, you like that?
oh
You
yeah,
heard
Bill.
that?
Bill is wearing a Nail Bomb shirt yesterday,
He was.
Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
That's his jam. He
Nail Bomb.
loves all that like fast stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool. I mean, like Waylon Jennings, David Allan Coe. But I just got into like, oh man, I've been on like a Cradle of Filth kick recently. I'm listening to a lot of that.
Old or new?
Old.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Midian, Cruelty and the Beast.
The new shit gets a little sketch.
Yeah.
You gotta filter through some of it because it gets a little goth pop.
What's
rock.
that?
Right. That's that. I haven't.
Cradle of Filth.
Cradle,
you said.
okay.
Oh, and then like a lot of like early Under Oath. So like Acts of Depression and Cries of the Past. Like the really like the cool shit that they made. But then like I said earlier, I was like listening to a little bit of Emperor. There's this new band that I found. They're called like Pitch Black Tomb, and they're like more heavy hardcore. But I think I saw like a picture of like their vocalist wearing like corpse paint.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was like really sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to see a dude in corpse paint just out there hardcore dancing. That's gonna be that'll be the day that
I don't think I've
spin kicks.
I've never seen corpse paint in real life. I
No?
don't think like
I've
good
seen
cool
it a
corpse
handful of
paint.
times. Seen it a handful of
I
times.
don't know. I gotta dabble in that because the only black metal band I listen to is like Dark Throne.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's it.
That's cool, man. Dark Funeral is probably one of my favorite ones, but they have like a little bit better production and stuff than some of the other ones. I'm a sucker for production. I need that shit clean.
For sure.
I need to be able to hear it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just because that's the way I was brought up. You know.
No, most definitely.
Usually when the corpse paint is on, it's a messy evening.
Yeah,
It's
you
don't just wear it for fun. That guy's
Yeah.
gonna get super sweaty in leather, and he's gonna
Yeah.
drip all over the place.
Sick.
His face
Nasty.
melt.
Well, I'm just curious too, like kind of jumping off that question that Nick asked, like what is some of your favorite metal bands? Just like if you were to say favorite metal bands, what would you just give me a couple off the top of your head? Like because you guys said you jam metal, right? So,
I like Dying Fetus a lot lately.
okay.
And then old school, I guess just classic with like Death, all that good old
Yeah.
school death
Mhm.
metal, but specifically Death.
Yeah.
And then
That's our shit.
So
right
many good
there.
riffs, dude.
Yeah.
All the riffs.
too many riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck's a beast.
But outside of that, I listen to a lot of like stoner and doom too,
Oh,
like
okay.
Sleep and
Okay.
stuff like from that era.
So you like everything then?
I like it
really,
slow,
don't you?
too.
Yeah.
Judas Priest,
Really, you like it slow?
I love it slow.
And you just want to keep your band upbeat and fast, kind of
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
I love slow music.
Okay.
Like I listen to what are they called? Bell Witch.
Okay.
Bell Witch is dope.
Yeah.
But-
okay. I was just wondering because usually that's not. Usually, if you really
Mhm.
like slow, you might want to play slow. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very lukewarm on the slow doomy stuff. I gotta have
listen
that
for
action.
sure.
I gotta
Mhm.
have that excitement.
No, I
Like,
listen to a lot
gotta-
of the
He's
similar
kind of
stuff.
more of the slower.
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm always complaining about grind beats. Like too much grind. No,
Yeah.
no.
I like
no.
grind too though. I like
Yeah.
napalm. I like
Yeah.
napalm. I get down with Napalm Death.
Yeah.
All that cool stuff.
Discordance axis.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
the
Too-
best, dude.
Too much of that stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening right now. Just give me
Yeah.
slow.
Just to
Something a
change it
little
up a
more.
little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we just saw Cloakroom with Full of Hell and Spy.
Oh, nice.
They opened
Yeah.
for it, but that was like I don't even know what they are. They're more shoegaze, but that stuff's real tight, real heavy.
Yeah.
It's a cool
Full of Hell-
blend.
Yeah.
Well, Full of Hell is like they're the evil grind band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but
are-
they do it all, man. Like that
Yeah,
new
they have a
record they
lot of
put out
stuff.
was like very different from like
Yeah, the Nothing Full of Hell split.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Cloakroom was like it was such a palate cleanser to open the show of like just a slow shoegaze band,
Yeah,
and
totally.
then straight into Spy, and then straight into Full of Hell.
I like when they kind of have like even that show the other night. Like every band kind of had its own unique.
Mhm.
I love when it's kind of a mixed bill like that. When you
Yeah.
don't just have 4 death metal bands, because by the second one, even though I want to see the fourth one, I'm kind of good on
Yeah.
death metal, and
Right.
I fucking play death metal. So
Yeah,
that's just me.
You
It's
get
like
you get your kick from the 20 or 30 minutes. that you
right,
see a band
exactly.
play.
I'm kind of like you know you
Mhm.
can only take so much in, so it's always cool when it's like a good mixed bill.
For sure.
I want to ask you guys, No Cure,
Yeah, No Cure's sweet.
fucking awesome, dude. That's one of my like.
That
When it comes like, so I would consider that hardcore, but they have
Yeah.
like the breakdowns, right? And they're straight edge, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like,
that was the show where Cam and I met.
Yeah.
It was both of our bands opening for No Cure and Mouth for War.
No
in
shit.
Grand
Uh-huh.
Rapids at Wealthy Annex.
that's fucking awesome. Like, them guys
was
just kind
awesome.
of came across my radar recently, and I'm like, man, I fuck with these guys so hard, dude. Like,
They're dope.
I really like them. And then they're about to come out with the album. We already did our albums of the year episode,
Mhm.
so that'll have to go on next year's because I think it's coming out in December, if I'm not mistaken. The
Sweet.
full album, they got a single out now.
Oh, nice.
So. Well, what about you, Cam? As far as metal stuff,
Comes to metal, there was like I don't know, like not too long back, there's a scene called like 8000 from Belgium, and it was where they were listening to a lot of hardcore. It was like a big vegan straight edge scene over there, but then they doing the same thing that Earth Crisis did, where they took metal riffs but turned it into like, you know, punk anthems and whatnot.
okay.
So they're all older. Some of them are still playing shows, but like there are bands like Congress, Liar, band called Regression. They sound like a lot of. They also take influence from like, you know, New York hardcore and whatnot. But I mean, there's so many cool bands from that era. There's another band called Spineless that I really like. But that's been like my main influence and main kick recently. I'm thinking about starting like a project similar to that, kind of style. So I've just been listening to a lot of that, trying to take riffs from them and inspiration. But even going into like technical shit like Defeated Sanity.
Oh yeah,
that new album they dropped, Rips.
Yep.
Super sick, and then
Mod didn't care for it.
Can't do the vocals. Can't do the vocals.
Yeah, sometimes the vocals for him it's just too much. Like the one vocal when you only get the one vocal, especially when it's like the low fucking guttural.
Well, the guitars it was really all guitars.
I love the riffs. I did speak highly about the riffs, and their bassist was sick. He was all over the place. I just didn't like the drum production. I didn't know however they mic'd it, or I didn't like the sound of the snare. Thought he borrowed Lars' snare from St. Anger or something. I didn't get that. And then when you got a vocalist who doesn't play any instrumentation and he's just doing like that one low toilet bowl guttural, I was like, "What? You're fucking fired, dude." Like,
I think it's tight because it does. I mean, it does blend into the mix. Like there are times where it's like you don't hear it because it's monotone.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It could be like a rhythmic type thing, but I need a little more from the vocals myself. So.
There was another band that I found. They got put out on Days Records like last year. They're called Deliscus or something. They're from overseas, I think from like Australia, but it's very similar tech death metal, like same vein as like Defeated Sanity and Putridity, but it's like a hardcore vocalist.
Oh,
it's super sick. The bassist and the guitarist like absolutely rip. But I've been listening to a lot of that recently just because it's super tight. It's blending what I like from hardcore, the vocals, and then just really intricate, crazy guitar parts I'll never be able to play.
Well, shit, boys. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
guys for coming on the show, man. I want everybody to go check out the Sissy Boys wherever you can find them. Make sure you look at the Sissy Boys band on Google.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to find the other Sissy Boys, that's fine too.
Sissy Boys straight to images. Safe search off.
Click on images, click on over 18. You'll be fine.
Yeah, cool. You're there.
But yeah, thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hell you guys do, man. You guys are doing awesome. Keep up the good work. Youth is on your side, unlike these guys sitting over on this side of you. So like now is the time. Keep doing your thing, and I'd just love to see the projection, and I'd love to see where you guys go. And hopefully, fucking man, we can share a stage soon too, because you guys are from Muskegon. We're from Muskegon, so it'd be cool to jam.
It'll happen.
I'll
be there.
All right, dudes.
Thank you
y'all.
very
Keep it metal. Peace. Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.